Hi, my name is Mark Deary and I'm a filmmaker, and I'm currently working on a documentary called Confessions of a Failed Filmmaker, where I talk about how I made my first feature film 20 years ago and I've been making films and living a creative life ever since. And I'm on long service leave from work, so it's basically like, without becoming hugely successful and a household name, what it's like living a creative life. That's what Confessions of a Failed Filmmaker will be about. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about a key idea that I've been thinking about lately, because I have been a teacher for the last 10 years, so I'm on long service leave for a few months. And for 11 years before that, I worked in film as making corporate videos and TV ads and a bunch of other stuff. And on the side, I made narrative feature films. So my first narrative feature film, Maryborough ... I made 20 years ago, 2005. We premiered April 2005, then again premiered November 2005. And so it's October 2025 right now, 20 years later. And I've been thinking about, since being on leave, if you had $1 billion, or if I had $1 billion, what would I do? And what would I do differently than now? And again, it doesn't need to be $1 billion, but the point is, if money wasn't an issue, if money didn't matter, what would you do? And I'll start by talking about me. I have said this, and I've said this on a couple of my other videos, as part of the Confessions of a Failed Filmmaker documentary. I'm making 100 videos in 100 days to share my process, right? And this is video 20. So I've been doing, for 20 days out of my 100, I've been making videos. And I've said in a couple of those videos, if I had $1 billion, I would make a movie every year with my friends. A feature film, independent feature film with my friends. And people I know, like independent feature film, exploring some idea about life. And I've been saying that for a long time, like 15 years, maybe longer. I don't know, since 2006 or 7. I remember saying it then to some students when I was doing my master's in film. So a long time, definitely since my last film, The Least Damnedest Thing, because it was so fun. We shot it with our friends. We didn't cast it properly. We didn't do anything professionally. We just shot it with our friends, and it was great. And I look at folk filmmakers emerging now, the leader of which is probably like Joel Haver, and but also guys like Dan Lotz. There's so many to name. But yeah, folk filmmakers who are basically making films with their friends and sharing them online. And I look at this movement and I think, yeah, this is something that I would do. But do you need $1 billion to do it? Like, a lot of them, I mean, I don't know what they do for jobs. I guess Joel Haver has 2 million subscribers on YouTube, so he's probably making his money from YouTube. But yeah, like, I think a lot of them just have casual jobs or day jobs, and then they work. So I think, thinking about this myself, because I'm being paid while I'm on leave, obviously, and then I'll go back to teaching, is that really, if creatively what I want to do with my life is make a film a year, I could probably do it. And it's been on hold because I had kids. My oldest is 14 and my youngest is 8. And I didn't want to miss out on that. That was kind of one of the reasons my wife and I have worked on all our films together. We wanted to have kids. We didn't want to move. We didn't want to go to Hollywood. And I think the kinds of stories we want to tell weren't ever that massive a scope, Like, I certainly was never like, I'm going to make Indiana Jones or whatever. Because I'm much more interested in humans, But what I wanted to say today, and it doesn't need to be a long video. If I had $1 billion, I'd make a film every year with my friends. And really, I don't need any more money than I have now to do that. I'd lose a little bit of time around my kids, which, if I put my kids in the film, well, I get time with them, but then I'm putting them to work. So if they wanted to do it, then I could make that a win-win. My friend Giovanna, she commented on one of my videos, which is lovely, in Melbourne. She's been making films lately, and her kids are now university age, so she's kind of free again. So she's gotten into filmmaking, and she's in a band, and her creativity is ramping up again. And I'm kind of thinking about that a lot in my long service leave. I'm 43. As my kids get a bit older, I'll have more independence to work on films again. But maybe you're in your 20s, maybe you're a teenager, maybe you're in your 80s. What would you do? If you had $1 billion, what would you do? And do you actually need $1 billion, or could you make it happen right now? And if you could make it happen right now, if you could take one step towards it, just do it. And that's what I'm starting to realize every day. It's like, I talk in these videos. I've been doing it 20 days now. I'm talking about ideas, and I always feel better after I do them, because it's kind of like getting to talk about what I've been thinking about for a long time, and what I talk about with Candice, my wife, a lot. We talk about creativity all the time. But yeah, doing the videos, it's been really cathartic, these. But I realize the same things keep coming up. I want to work on a short film. I'm working on this documentary because I haven't really worked on a lot of short films. And I want to make another feature with my friends. So it's like taking steps towards these things. And I am. I'm the next 100 days doing this documentary, doing these videos. And then, I might make a short. I might make an episode of a web series. I've got these kind of ideas, but I can start locking them down. I'm also trying to relax. But yeah, I don't think I need $1 billion. But obviously, if you had the money, you wouldn't have the stress. You wouldn't have to worry where the money was coming from. And maybe if you start working towards or moving towards the thing you wish you were doing, more money will come to you somehow. I don't know this, but I kind of believe it. I've always been okay, no matter what I kind of tried to do. Like we used to have jobs to pay for a film, then we'd quit the jobs, make the film, get new jobs. You know, we did that for a number of years in our 20s, my wife and I. But yeah, I feel like it always worked out. Everything's always kind of worked out, and we've had hard times, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. I think putting ideas into the world, there's more at play than just you when it comes to getting something back from putting things into the world. So if that's what you want to do, you don't need $1 billion. See if you can figure out how to do it with less. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I would do if I had $1 billion. From right now, I'm going to act like I have $1 billion and do exactly what I would do if I had $1 billion. So different video to my usual format today, but thanks for watching. I hope this helps. If you just need a little bit of validation or a little bit of confirmation that this is a good idea, that you should just do it now. Don't wait till you're a billionaire. Do it. Do. Whatever you want to do, just go and do it. It doesn't even have to be creative. If there's something you're thinking about doing, just make a step towards it. Just one step towards it. All right, there's my attempt at being an inspirational speaker for the day. I wasn't attempting to that, but I was just thinking about it myself. That I say if I had $1 billion, but I don't need $1 billion. So I'm going to start working on a short film, working on a web series with my kids, like another episode because I made 3 of them already, and thinking about ideas for a feature film. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. We've got 80 more to go. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. I really want to build a community of people thinking about creative ideas, so please comment and say what you think about this idea. And watch some of my other videos, comment on those. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and good luck with your project.